I'm Eric Reed. I'm going to be talking about the gospel music style. It focuses heavily on the 3/4 meter or time signature and the triplet feel. Now, you've heard of the Viennese waltz or waltz time, 3/4. That's what's considered a straight 3/4. And some hymns and gospel songs were written using that meter, but not quite as straight. Because when we get into modern or contemporary gospel music, in the case of Reverend Thomas Dorsey and songs from that period, we then dig into the African tradition, which has the triplet feel. So we're in 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the triplet feel against or even inside of that. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. I wish I had an African percussionist to help me with that, but you get the basic idea. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a gospel song, one of the newer gospel songs from the late 1800s. This is about 1887, something called Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, very popular song. And I'm going to play it a few different ways to show you the connection between the church hymn, the gospel music style, and the gospel blues that Reverend Thomas Dorsey introduced or termed. And then I'm also going to connect it to the jazz style using kind of a stride piano kind of thing. So now this is Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, and this is pretty much as you'll see it in a hymn book. So as you can hear, the gospel music style at that time had some similar roots with the African triplet feel, ding, 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 but it's still 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the meter it was written in the hymn book. So if we take it some years later into the gospel blues style, then we get this sound. Now that style has a lot more bounce. It's a little more joyous and not nearly as, I don't want to say somber, it's still a happy song, but it increases in its intensity and in its feel, and it becomes more staccato, almost more choppy versus the original version the way it was written. So we have, like I said, more of a bounce, and there's even some improvisation in there. Closer to the blues and even in the jazz style, which I'll demonstrate in a little bit. The conflict with that was at that time when Reverend Thomas Dorsey was writing songs that had more of that feel, and other composers even before him like Lucy Eddy Campbell and William Brewster and people like that. People used to call jazz the devil's music. And when church people heard that, they didn't dig it at all. Most of them didn't anyway, because they didn't appreciate people like Thomas Dorsey and Rosetta Tharpe, the guitar player, singer, who were singing the blues in nightclubs, but also playing in church. They considered them backsliders. They figured you had to do one or the other. You couldn't have been singing in clubs on Saturday and then playing in church on Sunday morning. Well, especially if you were hungover. Obviously, you couldn't. But Thomas Dorsey claims that he had been thrown out of churches all around the country because he brought the blues and gospel music together, which at that time was a no-no. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it even jazzier. I'm going to put it back in 4/4. It's not going to have that 3/4 triplet bounce. The triplet, the African triplet, as we can call it, is going to be a bit more underlying, more understated. So this is an actual jazz version of a hymn, if you'll allow me.